Salute, Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing as the New York Knicks continue to dominate once again today, dominating their rivals, the Miami Heat, at a huge MSG performance, 125-109, complete performance once again with Jalen Brunson activating MVP mode, filling it up, dishing and swishing. The Heat were no match as the Knicks closed it out in style in the fourth quarter. We've got so much to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, including an unfortunate injury to Julius Randle, which appears to be a shoulder dislocation. We'll keep everyone up to date. We'll make sure we get the correct news to you as it happens live, but welcome in everyone to the post-game live in this early matinee where the Knicks continue their winning ways, man. 6 straight on the season, 12 games over 500, now 12-2 in the new year since OG Anunoby became a New York Knick, and we continue to play excellent ball on both sides of the floor, man. This was a low turnover, high assist game where the Knicks started out strong, had a 10-point lead at the half, gave away the lead almost in the third, but a three-pointer from Julius Randle to end the third gave us a 3-point lead and that little bit more momentum that was needed. But Jalen Brunson, man, was the closer in the fourth. But we got an excellent performance from Randle, from the rest of the crew, right, top to bottom. Josh Hart was absolutely phenomenal today with his game in the plus-minus. He was so impactful and effective on both sides of the floor. OG Anunoby and DiVincenzo continue to be awesome with spacing the floor out and also, you know, keeping the floor spaced for Brunson and Randle to get to the paint and dominate. We dominated the rebounds as well, and we smoked our rival, fam. It don't feel any more sweet than this. Let's chop it up, fam. How we feeling, Mike? Jonathan, Daniel, DSJ's in the building. How you feeling, man? John, still Knicks fans. G'day, buzzer beater. Hopefully, yeah, the story obviously late coming out of this where Randle, you know, fell on his shoulder after drawing a blocking foul, was in clear discomfort. The medical guy was trying to, you know, pull the shoulder back into place. I've seen this injury before a lot, obviously in football, basketball as well. We'll wait to see if they're able to get that shoulder click back in, and hopefully the discomfort will subside. And I think Julius should be okay in terms of it shouldn't be a long-term thing. He might miss a week or two if it is, you know, on the more severe side. But, I mean, I'm no doctor. We'll wait and see. But, man, this is a great performance once again. Guys, salute to you. Appreciate you for joining us. And we're going to shout you out all show and give out our grades and give out the game ball. But another key takeaway is, you know, ever since Jalen Brunson was snubbed from the All-Star, he continues to absolutely dominate and be one of the best players in the league right now. Not even at a certain position, but around the league. You know, I don't think there's many players playing as well as Brunson is. He's got us 12 games over 500. That's matching where the Knicks were to end the season last year at 12 games over. We've got more than, you know, a third of the season to go. We've got potential moves coming down the pipe. But right now, we look amazing in terms of chemistry, cohesion, the pieces fit. You know, DiVincenzo's been amazing since starting, you know, the season in the starting five, right? In terms of statistically, DiVincenzo's been the second best spot-up guy in the league at high volume on a minimum of 200 attempts. So talk about a guy that's should be in the MVP discussion. Guys in the all-defensive team, defensive player of the year discussion. Guys shooting the three at a record clip. Julius Randle's playing the best basketball of his career so far. And of course, so is Jalen Brunson, right? Isaiah Hartenstein got back today. Welcome back as well. Hopefully we can ease him in, you know, and we don't have to, over exhaust him, coming back from the Achilles. But man, Precious Achiuwa was excellent once again on the glass. He's really come alive in these last 4 games, and he looks like a piece that I think the New York Knicks will keep and work with, because he's given us really good hustle, really good energy, fam. Just like the chat's bringing the energy. Old head, man. Yeah, Randle's shoulder looks serious. It's definitely a dislocation at the least. And I do think, generally those can be a couple of weeks. It depends. It might be shorter than that, but I don't think it's going to be a season ending or anything long term kind of thing, just from what I saw initially. But I'll continue to refresh right now, and we'll keep everyone up to date the moment any kind of news drops. But obviously that does mar a little bit the huge win. But the Knicks, obviously we're surging. We have momentum. I don't think it was a dirty play. Some people are saying it might have been a little bit dirty. It looked like to be just a genuine blocking foul. He did fall awkwardly right on the shoulder. As we have Joel Embiid's out today with soreness as well. But yeah, man, aside from that little lapse in the third, we controlled today. We controlled the game. OG Anunoby continues to get steals, be aggressive, getting into the paint and dominating. And we're going to look at the charts, and the grades. Obviously, today's game ball goes to our MVP, Jalen Brunson, playing like it on both sides of the floor. They had no answer, right? This is a team, the Heat, with an exceptional defense. They play physical. The game started super physical. The Knicks absorbed the Heat's toughest blow, and we punched back, man. We absolutely countered them. The first quarter, they got out to quite a decent lead. It was about 10, but the Knicks countered. Randle, Brunson got us into the groove, and we took a lead at the half by 10, shooting 50% from 3. Awesome. We had 15 assists at the half as well. Brunson finished with 8 assists and 32 points. We continued to dominate the rebounds, 57-43. Only 7 turnovers tonight. I mean, that's just a salute for a team with high turnovers. We've been really good these last 2 games at taking control and care of the ball, man. But yeah, you could see the life get taken out of the Heat when the Knicks continue to drain threes. DiVincenzo, Grimes stepped up in a major way to spacing the floor out, and the Knicks ended up shooting 51% from 3, man. Salute. And a huge a huge 51 from the field as well, and 69% from the free throw. So we got to clean that up a little. Guys missed some free throws today, but it was inconsequential. And you had the 25 assists. Once again, 15 at the half. And Brunson helped take over late, where we were getting out, getting some fast break buckets as well with OG Anunoby. But what are you guys thinking right now? I mean, we're playing the best basketball of the season. We got the acquisition of OG Anunoby, who's really so far held up to exactly what we wanted it to be, man. We beat the Wolves. We beat Philly. We beat the Nuggets. We beat the Miami Heat. And we're coming, baby. We're coming for that 3rd seed, 2nd seed. We're going to look around the league and look at the standings. But I'm not putting any ceiling on the Knicks. Maybe outside of the 1st seed with the Celtics there. But the Knicks can beat anyone with this new squad. The chemistry's on point. And I think we're in a huge race now for that 3rd seed. Look out, Philly, right now. Delano says it wasn't a dirty play. It was just an awkward fall. Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, man. And we saw the Knicks defense, right? We contained Jimmy. We contained Bam. The Heat's only chance tonight, today, was the 3-point ball. Robinson got loose a little bit, Tyler Hero. But Scary Terry, man. I said it when the Heat made that move. I don't think that move is going to be enough for the Heat, right? It's a solid upgrade, but it's, it's not exactly like a, an impactful pickup like an OG or a DeJounte Murray. So, the Heat are working with what they got, but right now they're a player short still, right? And the Knicks smoked them today. It's not Heat culture, defeat culture. Buzzer beater, man. You're on fire. I've also got Brun stoppable, right? He's legitimately, no one can stop him, right? And we're going to start on the grades. But with what Brunson's doing, man, like you can't, you just can't take away anything, right? He'll get to any spot on the floor. As you see, Brunson's looks on the screen right now. He loves that elbow, the corner three. You give him any daylight, and it's lights out for you. Efficient once again, but living in the paint. Talk about that, man. He could have rolled up and absolutely lived in the paint. With those looks, he draws fouls at an elite level. He had the full bag today, man. The step back, the spin fade, and straight dicing to the cup for a blocking foul. And the 3-point ball has really opened up Brunson's game this year. He's gone to another level. He was snubbed, of course, like we said, and he's going to be a reserve all-star. The media are on the bandwagon right now. They're on the train. We stopped taking passengers right now, but yeah, those the believers. Shout out to you, the real ones that knew Brunson was capable of doing this. He's just amazing me still every single game with his consistency. It ain't so much his level of play because we're kind of growing used to it now, but his consistency. Slow start to the season, but ever since he clicked in after probably the 5th game or so with Randle, Brunson's game just continues to be super consistent, and that's exactly the hallmark of an MVP, right? A team that can count on you. He can carry us on many nights. He didn't really need to carry us today because so many other players played amazing. But he's our closer, right? He closed the deal. It was, close enough in the 4th, late 3rd, where Brunson did need to, get moving. But yeah, he was Brun-stoppable late, right? We smoked the Heat culture, and we're creating our own culture right now. Jonathan says the Brunner. Yep, I love that. The burner. Yep. J-Dub, we need to make a big trade now. You feel like we're really close. You hope the Randle injury isn't serious, is now become a problem. Man, we'll wait and see, right? Hopefully this show ends on a great note where we get some positive news. But yeah, it does look like a dislocation at least. The trainer was trying to pull the shoulder back into place. Obviously, it's come at a horrible time where we are clicking, and we are, capable of beating anyone. The Heat, the Wolves, the Philly, the Heat today. And we're climbing, fam. But yeah, ode to the squad, right, today. Not so much one individual, but guys just stepping up, right, in all the way top to bottom. We're talking about Precious, talking about Grimes has started to play really well. I knew Josh Hart would start to come good. 5 of 7 today. I want to shout out Josh Hart. Firstly, before we give out the first grade, plus 30. He hit 14 points on efficiency for 5 of 7. Got us 9 rebounds from Josh and 5 assists, right? Absolutely sensational performance from Josh Hart, man. He was plus 18 in the plus minus at the half, and we're only up 10, and he was still a plus 18. Miles McBride continues to shoot the 3 ball. Awesome. Limitations of running the offense with addition, but he's swishing. He was a minus 8, but 9 points, 1 of 2 from deep. Got to the line a little bit. DiVincenzo, man, 3 of 6 from deep. Continues to be money. Brunson, 4 of 4 of 8 from deep, 50%. Randle was 3 of 4 from deep, man, 51%. You're not beating us if we're shooting that well, especially with our defense right now, guys. And we continue to, prayers up for Randle. Like Jonathan says, man, salute Prezi. We're going to talk about the road ahead, moves later in the show. But the Knicks look like a team that no one wants to face, and we're coming for the 3rd seed or better, fam. The Bucks look a little shaky. They lost to the Cavs yesterday, and we're coming for the Cavs as well. So we're in a fight with them. But first man up, man, Jalen Brunson gets the gold star. He's going to be an all-star. It's just a matter of time till we find out the coaches. The coaches are going to get him in, right? He's deserving of an all-star starter. There's no doubt about it. But the positive thing is, and congratulations to him, he will be a first-time all-star. So I know that's a big accomplishment, for a guy who's been overlooked his entire life. Continues to get overlooked, man. I don't know much more that he needs to do. He's legitimately in an MVP conversation right now with plenty of time remaining for this season. His numbers over the last 10, 15 games is going to open a lot of eyes around the league right now. And an A+ performance, right? He here, as well as we here. Jalen Brunson, salute to you. Continues to operate, like I said, getting to the paint. Continues to shoot the 3 ball. You give him any kind of daylight, and he's basically like trying to guard Steph Curry, right, in his prime. He can drive, he can dish, and he can swish, right? Complete player, 8 assists, 32 points, plus 24. Got a steal, got 5 rebounds, 4 of 8 from deep on volume, and 12 of 22. Fam, 38 minutes, right? Let's get him some help if we can. Deuce continues to be, impactful in his minutes, but there's limitations. We know, kind of running the floor, running the break, and the offense. The Heat did make a run. There's concerns in the playoffs, right? I'm okay with Deuce McBride in the regular season, right? I think he's more than capable. We're going to talk about Deuce a lot more, but obviously this is a tied to Brunson and his minutes, right? Ideally, we want to get Brunson down to 35, 36 minutes. Let OG run some offense a little bit. Let Hart, let Grimes, let OG run some offense as well as Deuce, the backup. But for me, the playoffs, that's the concern. To keep Brunson as fresh as possible down the stretch of this season is really going to make or break our season, I feel, because we don't want him banged up going into the playoffs like last season. He had the ankle issue, and it hurt. He fought through pain, and he still played amazing. But ideally, you want to keep Brunson's minutes down too, fam. I don't want to cook him too early, fam. Jonathan says AAA plus. Buzzer, gives Brunson the game ball, along with iStream Team Radio. How many game balls? How many A+? I lost count. Do you guys, taking our Knicks hat off, do you legitimately think Brunson is now in an MVP conversation? I believe he is. Right? He has help, obviously, on this team. We're a very good team. But what he's doing, the numbers, the consistency, the elevation of his game, he might even enter the most improved conversation. He showed this last season, but not with the 3-point shooting. So that might get Brunson into the most improved conversation as well. But obviously what matters most is winning to Brunson. He always says the right things. He pays homage to his teammates. He's just a humble guy, a hard worker, a player that we love to see. He's made the Knicks more relevant. Not going to say we weren't relevant before, we were, but to some outsiders like Chuck, other casuals, they do believe that Brunson has made the Knicks more relevant. He's still a very underrated player. People are still overlooking him. right? Damian Lillard didn't deserve the All-Star starting berth ahead of JB, but it is what it is, right? Brunson will get in, and he continues to perform like this. Man, he's going to make believers out of everybody. He's only 27 years old. Yeah, I'm excited. That's all I can say, man. I'm excited about the future of this team. With Brunson, of course, 6-8 more years of this point guard play at the starting spot. Continues to pass the rock unselfishly. Continues to score 30-point games on efficiency. Continues to get to the line as well. Plays a physical brand and has a huge bag as well, man. What's there not to love? Too, fam. Buzzer says, yes, Brunny is in the conversation for MVP. MIP is most likely but a Kobe White, Dante Exum out there too. Yeah, they tend to look at a lot of the the more younger role players that have elevated their games. I completely salute that. Brunson was obviously deserving of an All-Star berth last year as well. So he has elevated his game, definitely improved, but to be most improved, it's going to be a little tight, I think. But I'll take the MVP conversation, man. I think he will get votes. Definitely Brunson, if he continues this stretch, he's going to get a lot of MVP votes, and he's going to deserve it because we're winning, right? I mean, 12 games over 500 now. Buzzers all over the numbers. I know we're on pace for a 650 plus winning percentage. We've equaled our overs from last season at the end, and we're already only just at the halfway point. And we're 6 straight now. We're going to look at the road ahead and see how many more of these games can we keep this streak running. But yeah, man, since getting OG Anunoby, excellent defense, unselfish play. We can kill you in multiple ways. Like we killed the Heat tonight. You could see Jimmy Butler. You could see Eric Spoelstra. And we don't see this very often. But man, Spo was frustrated today. He called timeouts, at points that you don't normally see. And rightfully so. The game was getting out of hand. OG was getting steals on the break. 2 steals for OG after a 6-steal performance, man. That's 8 steals in 2 games for OG. All defensive player, badge activated. We're going to hit on him in a second. But, we go as far as our leader, and Brunson was absolutely just unstoppable. You couldn't put Jimmy on him. You double him, try to put Bam on him. He would either rise up, hit the 3, he would swing it to his teammate and devastate, right? So I'm really starting to feel like the game is slowing down for these guys, and Brunson's experience. We can't forget he's still a player who is only 27, right? And he's got levels to go still. Like this isn't Brunson's ceiling. So I'm excited as much as I am to see Brunson's play at the minute. I'm excited to see it continue to grow. And I do think he can reach, MVP levels in the future as well, and continue to, shoot the 3 ball like Steph Curry numbers as well. So next man up, Jules Randle. Man, great performance again from Julius, 6 of 14 on 32 minutes. Hit the deck with about 4 minutes, I think 5 minutes remaining. The shoulder. I'm going to refresh right now. Yeah, and chat, let us know. Holler at us if you see an update. But obviously they're going to do a quick assessment. Steve Popper says Tibbs said Randle was with the medical staff. Just dapped him up and waiting on the word for the shoulder injury, okay? Kevin Garnett, KG, the OG, says Jalen Brunson does his talking between the lines. We heard you, killer. So that's KG paying props to JB. Yep. Some people saying it's a dislocated shoulder. I don't know how you can say that he's okay. That's a multiple week injury. Not saying it's good, but when a player is writhing in pain, You kind of work from the worst case scenario. You work back, so please be okay, Jules. And I do think, look, if it's a couple of weeks, it's obviously a blow, but we can sustain it, right? We're 12 games over, and we're waiting to find out. Steph Bondi right now saying Tibbs said Julius has the shoulder injury, doesn't know if it was dislocated. He's getting treatment right now. And he asked Tibbs, "Are you concerned?" Tibbs says very. So we're very concerned for Randle. Tibbs is talking Randle's toughness right now. He's a guy that plays through things, and that's what you love about him. He's a warrior. There's no doubt. And Begley's reporting Randle's shoulder is currently being evaluated. The medical staff asked how concerned it was. Tibbs says very worrisome as well. Last year, Randle was injured against the Heat. Again, says Alan Hahn. I mean, that's what they do. They're a physical team. Their job is to either bruise us up or beat us. We beat them on the glass. We beat them from the three. And we moved the ball. We had low turnovers as well. Tonight was today was another real statement, right? And we've evolved as a team. Forgetting last year's playoffs, the two teams you saw today, guys, Heat and the Knicks. The Knicks have far surpassed last year's team. We've evolved as an organization, as a starting five. Even new backup players as well, playing well. The Heat got Terry Rozier, but they look kind of more of the same. Jimmy, Bam, a lot rest on their shoulders too, fam. And obviously while we're talking about the shoulders, we'll continue to refresh, keep everybody up to date with the Juju injury front. Does look like a dislocation. I mean, it depends on the kind of dislocation and the person. Following all sports, basketball, football, I've seen players return after 1 week after a dislocation. Sometimes it might take 3 weeks, 4 weeks at the worst. So we wait and see, but prayers up. And I don't think it's a serious season-ending injury or anything of that nature as well. So we wait to see. But fortunately, the trade deadline hasn't come and passed yet. So we still have options available. This season's been all about next man up. And we'll talk about Precious Achiuwa, other guys like Hart, Miles McBride stepping up. While we're on that topic too, fam. Walter Salute says we'll need more from Brunson if Randle is going to be lost for the long haul. Absolutely, guys. Yep. Everyone just going to have to step up as well. It's just a sad blow because Randle's been playing really well. We're about to salute his game tonight, his grade. 6 of 14, 3 of 4 from deep. I thought Randle's, those threes were critical. He's been shooting the ball from three much better from the last 5 games on lower sample, but really effective, efficient. 4 of 4 from the line. A monster in the paint, 9 boards, 3 offensive. 4 turnovers was okay. 19 points plus 3 as well. Using his size to bully the Heat. When he saw an opening, he capitalized. When there was no opening, he swung the ball. And when they sagged off, he hit the 3. So I like Randle's processing. At the minute, his defense was good, was solid. Really on track for a perfect game for me. In terms of Randle, I'm going to give Randle an A+, right? Did his role, huge effort to stave off the Heat all game. Really, we were in control from once we took the lead in the end of the first, right through to the end. Aside from that little stretch in the third, where we did give up the 13-point lead, but who got us back in the lead? It was Randle, huge 3-pointer. To end the third, and that was a momentum boost, heading into the fourth, where we carried on from there, fam, and we continued to make it difficult for the Heat, right? So Randle's been playing really well recently. Talking about all-stars, right? He's an all-star, in my opinion. He needs to get in. And I think he will. The coaches love Randle. They love his durability. You know, he's a guy who plays through pain, like Tibbs is saying. But, you know, he's also processing the game better this season. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, he's a guy who's been passing better, continues to rebound well, and he continues to take advantage in the paint. Yet low-key, peace. Yet we hope it's not serious. Dislocation, it looks like it just, depending on, how bad. Guys can play through, discomfort from a dislocation within a week, generally. But it's being evaluated. You know, the Knicks, it's going to be initial diagnosis, and then it's going to be game to game, I think. As we take a quick peek at some of the games coming up, right, and then we hit on the next grade. But we've got a couple of these tough games out of the way, and we have Charlotte and we have Utah coming up, a back-to-back. So we rest Sunday, and then Charlotte, Utah as well. So yeah, great stretch here, beating Brooklyn, Denver, the Heat, 6 in a row. Let's salute, and let's stay positive, and prayers up for Juju. As we continue to refresh, we'll find out what the prognosis is before the end of the show. But I want to shout out Randle's play once again, A+. Continues to shoot well from deep. His decision making, though, has been what's helped this team get more momentum for this ball club. Yep, good win. Jerry says doesn't look good. It's going to be tough to miss Randle's production. Initially, who do you guys think is going to step in? You know, assuming Randle's going to miss some time, right? I expect probably Josh Hart to step in at the 3. OG goes to the 4. What do you guys think? I know how much Tibbs is trusting of a Josh Hart. Initially, we'll see how that looks. Obviously, we got concerns with iHeart too. You know, we're going to talk about him in a second. 15 minutes tonight, easing back in from an Achilles. But you don't exactly want to exhaust iHeart either, man. We'll be down all our big men, man. It'll be Precious Achiuwa ball without Randle and iHeart and Jericho Sims show. So, yeah, hopefully, like Shokan says, we're just fearing the worst. Tough blow if Randle does miss some time, but it doesn't look too bad. Like, I agree with you from that standpoint. From what I've seen with dislocations, it could be as short as a week before Randle's back. Yeah, we'll talk about Charlotte and Utah buzzer coming up too. So yeah, we continue to give out the grades, and next man up is going to be OG Anunoby, right? 12-2 since the trade, right? More impactful than the Hart acquisition last year's deadline. Man, OG, even Raptors fans are hitting us up, right? Everyone's hitting us up saying OG, man, yeah, he looks like a better version of the OG everyone thought was already a great player. 8 of 14, 57% from the field, 40% from 3 on 2 of 5. 1 of 3 from the line, though, so that's come back down a little bit. He was a 72% free throw shooter coming in, and I've been praising him for being perfect at the line, but that has come back down a little. Career numbers generally don't lie, but he's okay. He's decent at the line. 4 assists was great. 2 steals. Once again, 8 steals over the last 2 games from OG Anunoby. Defensive Player of the Year badge activated with that, man. He's right up there in the discussions. Plus 13, huge second half. He was in the minus in the first half, but plus 13, 19 points. I salute OG Anunoby, man. The pickup of the season so far. Right. No one can talk about Scary Terry yet. No one can talk about Pascal Siakam yet. OG Anunoby is pickup of the season. And he's also going to get the Gold Star signature defensive player of the year performance. Once again, trademark. Guys, I love his consistency from OG. And let's look at his looks right now, because I've got that on the screen as I bring that up right now. OG was legit. Right, he was 2 of 5. Here we go. 2 of 5. But what's been the trend? You guys know. If you've been tuning in recently, you know that I've been preaching OG's sort of gravity towards the rim. You know, he gets looks in the restricted area. He's a good finisher with his size, verticality. He gets up. He gets fouled usually, or he'll slam it down, or he'll get the layup. Yeah, you see the 2 3 balls, one in the corner, one on the elbow, and a couple of the fadeaway middies, pull-ups in the paint area, foul line extended. So, man, he's more versatile than some people gave him credit for. I know that. I know people said he didn't even have a bag. You know, he was just a catch and shoot guy. No, he's way more than that. Now, can he do it consistently? We'll be watching, but OG's been great recently. I don't see any signs of letdown. You know, he's been elevating his play. He's loving the spotlight. You know, he's producing in a big minute, and he's still gaining more chemistry with this team. So think about it by the playoffs, man. We're gonna have an absolute beast defensively with Mitch back. Hopefully, iHeart healthy. You know, DiVincenzo flying all over the court. Randle's given more effort. Brunson, of course, always, you know, taking hits. Man, defensively, I can see us remaining the top defense for the rest of the season from here on out, provided nobody misses any time. And it's all because of, well, in part because of this guy, you know, coming in. Obviously, you know, with Mitch down, our defense stunk before the trade. We got blown out by all these wings with the Sixers, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Thunder, the Magic, the Pacers. Right after the in-season tournament, you welcome in OG Anunoby, and you get yourself a league top defense right now. So that's an absolute a tribute, salute to him for what he is, what he brings, fam. Yep. I agree with you, Buzzer. First team All D. Not only that, but I think he's really elevating into the conversation again as a defensive player of the year. It's going to be tight. You know, Bam's going to be there. You see Rudy Gobert. But I mean, the impact he's having is crazy. We're 12-2 since getting this guy. You can't gloss over that. Even the haters can't. As well. Like Dadpool says as well, salute Precious. Precious is actually stepping up too, giving us a huge boost with his length, his ability to move. That's what the strength Precious Achiuwa brings as well. He's a smaller big, but he moves faster than your iHearts, your Mitches, your Sims as well. And he's got a little bit of athleticism as well. He's got to work on his finishing around the bucket, and we'll talk about that. So, to die for, what's good? Reports showing that Randle suffered the dislocated shoulder. Get better, Randle. Yep, definitely, man. Appreciate your prayers up. As we continue along, we hit on the next guy, which is going to be DiVincenzo. Smash that like button, guys. The KNICKS streets are buzzing, and we hope that Randle doesn't miss too much time. I'm waiting to see if there's any further news. But, yeah, OG all the way to the big ragu. The starting 5 is alive, ladies and gents. We're absolutely clicking, you know, and we're beating great teams. You know, talking about the Heat, the Nugs. We absolutely smoked the Sixers and the T-Wolves as well. So who's next on our list, fam? Who's on our hit list next? I would love us to beat the Celtics. Not going to lie, I'm penciling that game. Let us know in the chat, what game now are you most looking forward to for the rest of the season? Is there a particular matchup that you want to get square with? I want to beat the Celtics. I really do. We beat Philly. We beat the Bucks on Christmas Day. Can't forget about that one. And what else? We beat the Heat now. I mean, I'm not even fearing the Heat right now. Obviously, the playoffs, I give them respect. The Heat go to another level with great coaching, physical play. They do try to injure you, not going to lie. They do try to beat you up. They're a team, kind of similar to the Knicks, the way Tom Thibodeau likes to play. They make sure that you feel them. They make you work for every rebound, every loose ball. But if you execute like we did tonight, they're very beatable. Early on, what was very impressive was the ball swing. Whenever the double came, the New York Knicks moved the ball real fast. DiVincenzo, OG, it was a hot potato, and everyone benefits. In the starting five, right? I haven't seen a more cohesive and gelling starting five with the Knicks going back since the 2013 season. 2012-2013 with J.R. Smith, Carmelo Anthony, Raymond Felton, Tyson Chandler, and those guys, fam. Jason Kidd, Rasheed Wallace. This is definitely the strongest squad, I think, since then. There's no debate. It was a 54-win season. And, of course, we got eliminated in the second round to the Indiana Pacemakers. And I think we're stronger than that team. Obviously, there's still the trade period. There's still the rest of the season to shake out. But, man, I think we're better than that squad. And we're on pace for the 54 wins. What Jerry says, we'll see how long Randle misses. It's definitely a dislocation. NYC, I agree with you, man. Pay back the Pacers, too. Definitely, man, with Pascal. That's the next matchup where we kind of see, how the two sides stack up with their new acquisition. They're playing well recently. Pascal's looking good. Obi Toppin's looking good. Of course, Halliburton, we know the story, the backstory there. I want to beat some teams out west too, I want to beat the Thunder, I hate losing to that squad as well. I want to beat the Pelicans too. They embarrassed us in the second game of the season too. So I really want to beat the Pelicans too. The Clippers we beat, the Lakers we beat. So I know we got their number too. But let's hit on the big ragu, right? Devo was 4 of 10. Man, he's deserving of more minutes as well. Just 19. 3 of 6 from deep. Two assists, a board, offensive, 11 points, and a neutral, plus minus, man. But 3 of 6 from deep. Flamethrower, continues to do his role. That's our starting shooting guard, fam. Flies all over the court. Got his steal tonight. Makes it difficult in the passing lane. Can rebound for us as well. Got hops. Great fit. He's the perfect role player. We're building a squad with, 2 all-stars surrounded by potential defensive player of the year and potential, or excellent role players, right? And that's the recipe for success, fam. So, shout out Leon Rose. There's a world where he might be in the running for Executive of the Year, fam. I mean, for that to happen, the Knicks probably going to make the conference finals, 3rd seed. He swung the deal for OG, signed DiVincenzo in the off-season. And once again, if you just joined us, I got a stat for you. DiVincenzo has been the second best spot-up guy in the league at high volume with a minimum of 200 attempts. Right? I mean, we got this guy for mid-level money too, fam. Some of these teams splashing 20 mil for players that are underwhelming. And we signed this guy for the mid-level, and he's the second best spot-up guy in the league. You don't get no better than that for value for money, right? And that's what I talk about with Leon Rose, shrewd signing. And then the OG trade, not giving up a first-round pick. Signing Hartenstein, a backup who's playing as good as Mitch. All these moves are coming back to really help us. All these signings right now. Getting Precious Achiuwa as a throw-in in the deal. So what do you guys give for the big Ragu? DiVincenzo gets a B+ for me. Money from deep, 3 of 6. Continues to move the rock as well. He's been assisting at a really high rate. Impactful in his minutes too. So, perfect complementary piece. He relocates all over the floor and continues to space it. Too fair, man. I love the pickup. Chenzo an A for buzzer to die for, gives the A as well. Yep. You guys reppin'. And DiVincenzo deserves that too, right? I could easily upgrade him to the A. Now we're going to hit on the final starter now, which is Isaiah, who got back in the squad after a little layoff, right? And unfortunately, looks like we're going to be down another soldier with Julius Randle. It's important that we continue to ease iHeart in. 15 minutes tonight, was 2 of 2. Got 6 boards, 2 offensive, 2 fouls, 4 points, +1. Did his job, stepped up, welcome back. We didn't need to play him too much. Precious was doing well in his 31 minutes. He was a +19. But the main thing is that we got Hartenstein integrated, and we got him back in too. And he is a huge piece, like we know. We can't have that Achilles continue to flare up. So we just got to be cautious with iHeart too, fam. iHeart, I'll give him a B. 15, was a plus in the plus-minus, still +1 in 15 minutes, 100% from the field, and got 6 rebounds, 2 of them offensive in a short space. So, yeah, in terms of iHeart, we don't even know if Mitch realistically can be a factor when he gets back and when he gets back. So iHeart is, the starting big man, but Precious is stepping up. So that's going to give us a little bit more opportunities to limit iHeart's minutes coming in, right, until he's fully over the Achilles too. Yep, Knicks 26 champs in the building. Is Randle's shoulder just dislocated? It looks that way. I'm going to say 90%. Yet to be 100% confirmed by the squad, as I'm refreshing now. And yes, we have confirmation, ladies and gents. Adrian Wojnarowski, the Woj, has tweeted out the Knicks forward Randle has suffered a dislocated right shoulder. The X-ray didn't show much damage, a source said. An MRI is coming later tonight. Okay, so let's read this again, and as we absorb it in real time. The X-ray didn't show much damage. So that's what stands out to me. That's what I want to hear. Unfortunately, it is a dislocated shoulder as well, but man, the main thing is it didn't show much damage. So speculating here, and this is just pure speculation, man. We maybe be looking at anything from 7 to 20 days, as a possibility, as a strong possibility. It could be more, it could be less. But if it's a dislocated shoulder and they needed to just pop it back in, its initial soreness, you ice it, you wait for the pain, inflammation to go down, And then yeah, in the best case scenario, sometimes after 2-3 days, and you get good movement. But the risk is you don't want to have it pop back out again so soon as well. You want to let it set and get back into place, and then you want to rest it. You rest it. So I'm going to predict maybe 10 to 20 days, sometime like that, a couple of weeks, quite possibly. But yeah, the positive thing is it doesn't show much damage, and an MRI is coming later too, fam. So, well, yeah, let me know your thoughts after hearing that, guys. Yep, confirmed Woj. Doesn't show much damage, but an MRI is coming. So yeah, you guys probably are big football fans. You see this injury a lot, dislocated shoulder. It could be as short as a few days. It could be as much as a few weeks, I think. But yeah, the little risk is that it might pop back out again. So you want to be careful. So yeah, man, Hartenstein continues to be a beast. That's the starting five, fam. Starting five is more than alive, man. It's buzzing, and people are talking about trades still. However, I would love us to make an upgrade. I think we will make an upgrade, but right now it makes more sense as a bench piece that can step in if someone goes down in the starting five. But as of right now, I don't see how you could really make a huge case to make a huge shake-up with the starting five. The one exception to the rule for me right now is obviously the most realistic target, DeJounte Murray. I think you make allowances for DeJounte Murray to start, of course. However, anything less than that, and I think, go get us a Brogdon, go get us a Sexton or a Clarkson to fulfill the quickly role. Score, play with pace, set up your teammates, etc. And I think we're dangerous. To die for thoughts on the Randle issue is up to 2 weeks tops. I think that's about right, from what I feel. I do feel like, yeah, you let the inflammation go down, the soreness, and then he starts to ease in with some practice, get some shots up, and I think, yeah, maybe between 10 to 14 days too, fam. Yep. But I think we'll be fine, man. I'm not too worried, guys. These 2 wins have been huge. To get to a point where we've got a little bit of breathing room is going to help us a lot too, fam. So first guy off the bench today we talk about, it has to be Josh Hart. Man, team high in the plus 30, right? We dubbed him the quintessential role player last season. He's kind of become the forgotten man until recently. I feel like his play's coming back. He's adjusting obviously to different roles this year. OG's come in. But Hart's been awesome recently. 9 boards, 5 assists, 14 points on a plus 30. You're kidding, man. That's incredible. 5 of 7 and 2 of 3 from deep, right? You don't often, you don't really get that all the time from Hart. But when he's hitting the open jumpers, that's money. And he seems to rise up against these kind of rivals. The Cavs, the Heat. Josh, the best in his game comes out. He's a big game player, and he's stepping up in a huge way, man. Almost a double-double. Not far off a triple-double. So, man, he earned his money tonight. And some. Buzzer beater. Yep, agree with you on this one. I got to give Josh Hart an A+, right? He couldn't play a more perfect role. Electrifying, super efficient, was aggressive. He took it to the Heat, got them in foul trouble. He had this huge slam on Duncan Robinson. I think it was either Robinson or it was a Hero. Bodied him, man. Sorry, it was Caleb Martin. First quarter, one of my favorite plays of tonight. Josh Hart put his head down, was aggressive, took it to him, and absolutely bodied Caleb Martin. So that was a huge play that set the tone, and Hart was just great all night. So, and the most pleasing thing for Hart is his play, fam, is coming back like last year as well, which is super dangerous. The guys gave him props tonight on the call for his defense. We can't forget, he's a solid defender on ball. When you look at lineups with OG, Hart, Randle, Brunson, and Hart, I think that's the best in a limited sample. From what I've seen, I think that's the best 5-man lineups in plus minus. And it's no surprise. You talk about rebounding. You talk about Isaiah Randall's rebounding with Josh Hart and OG. And Brunson's a strong rebounder for his size. That's good luck. Good luck getting a rebound from that lineup against that lineup with Hart, Isaiah, OG, and Randle. Man, that's it's versatility, and it's really going to help us in the playoffs tonight. Remember, you want to swallow up the misses, and you want to get the defensive stops. You don't want to keep giving these teams second chance points because they've got the shooters. If Bam or Jimmy get a second chance point, offensive rebound, you can almost guarantee that it's going to end up in a Robinson or a Hero or a Caleb Martin 3. So the Knicks handle their business on the glass too. Hart with 9 boards. Playing really well recently, right? Now the next man up is the backup point guard, Deuce McBride. Played 9 minutes tonight, or just under 10. Another impactful performance from Deuce. 3 of 4, 1 of 2 from deep. Continues to be money from the catch and shoot and the pull up. The shooting's a real factor for our bench scoring right now. And it's the reason I said this before. I think we can survive the regular season with Deuce as the backup. The way he's shooting, the playoffs is where I have more of a concern. But man, he's definitely making people pay attention. 9 points. He was a -8 though. Obviously, the bench was that little struggle tonight with the Heat getting back into it, and that's what I mean with the playoffs. Can Deuce play? Absolutely. Can you trust him in the playoffs? That's where the story comes in. Where the front office, Leon, the crew, Tom Thibodeau, they have to be brutally honest, and we need to get a Murray, a Brogdon, a Sexton, a Clarkson, just somebody who can come in with more experience. But yeah, Deuce is growing. He's evolving. The shooting has been a real story on the season too, fam. So LRY's peace, fam. What's good? OG equals baby Kawhi. Absolutely, man. He will get a Defensive Player of the Year when it's all said and done, and hopefully it's this year. But the size, the finishing, the shooting, all the qualities that baby Kawhi had. Buzz has gone with the A+2 for Hart, 100%. To die for, yeah. Hart was a +30, yo. Right? Intense. And you need those kind of performances to beat the Heat. As much as Brunson's the MVP, OG's a stopper, Randle's facilitator and scorer. They come at you in waves, the Heat, right? Like Terminators. Their role players are the quintessential role players. So we need our role players to step up. Yeah, and this dub's very much on the bench as much as it is the starters. Hart was sensational. Yeah, and Deuce was solid. NYC Ball 08 gives Deuce McBride a B. And I'm going to go with the same. Yep, great minds think alike. Was a minus though, however efficient from the field. More than efficient, 3 of 4, did his role as well. he's just not playing with, strong offensive players. So, yeah, the bench lineups will, they will have some struggles, but a good point Weiss is making is more we play Deuce off ball, second will be okay, but not running the show. Yeah, that's a good point. Deuce's shooting has been a real positive. Let's capitalize. He's shooting even better from the corner threes as well. So you get him in the corner, you put in a Clarkson, you let Grimes run some offense, even OG, Hart, and at least we can, capitalize on the skill sets we have right now. So, solid bench performance once again. These 2 wins have been absolute trademark wins from the squad. Now, next guy up is Quentin Grimes, who is absolutely great tonight. Man, Grimes has been playing like the first round draft pick. So, rookie season, Quentin Grimes, sophomore season, and summer league, Quentin Grimes, since the trade period started buzzing. 3 of 6, 24 minutes, 2 of 5 from deep, hit one huge step back with confidence. That's what really got us up 13. Before Brunson hit the 3 to give us up 16, but it was 10. And I love the pull up, the step back from Grimes to give us the lead by 13. Huge shot. 4 of 8 from the free throw line though, so he could have had a better night. But 4 rebounds, 12 points, and a plus 10 from Q Dot. Welcome back, man. He's been playing awesome recently, and I'm gonna give Quentin an A for his performance tonight, man. 2 of 5 from deep, got to the line 8 times, was aggressive, plus 10 in the bench looks with the starters, and 12 points. Just 2 fouls and 0 turnovers. So, it's crazy when you start putting a player's name in trade talks. It's crazy what can happen. Some of them can go into their shell and they can shrink, and some players actually start playing better. They wake up, and maybe Grimes always had the skills, he had the talent. We just needed someone to just light him up, wake him up. Maybe he's playing, so he can showcase himself for other teams. Maybe he's, really committing to playing better, more aggressive because he really wants to remain a New York Knick. Also, you got to give credit to his teammates too, because they are finding him more. And he's gelling with these lineups now. So you got to salute these guys, in the second unit. Too, fam. Buzzer Beater's asking, what's OG's plus minus since with the Knicks? So it was, I think, 240 coming into tonight. So plus 13. It is 250, roughly 252, 253. Since being a Knick, around the plus 250. And it's an NBA record. Do fam, right there. Salute. He's absolutely dominating, man. Plus 1,000, says to die for, something like that. Too. Put it this way, he's the best plus minus since the new year. Absolutely, and the the NBA record for your first. How many games has he played now? We are 12 and. Yeah, we're 12 and 2, so 14 games. Yeah, his first 14 games with the team. Yeah, he's plus around 250, and breaking the NBA record for that. Now, with Grimes, man, I could see him still being in a move. Obviously, his recent play is going to have teams buzzing. But yeah, on a night like tonight, there's not really much to talk about in terms of trades because, we're still a couple weeks out. We're waiting to see teams put in their offers. But the Knicks, I think something's going to shake out with Utah. Something just tells me, with Olynyk, Sexton, and Clarkson. Something tells me they're going to move at least one or two of those pieces for draft compensation, and I think that's where the Knicks might pounce. I also think the Portland Trailblazers, for a deal like Malcolm Brogdon, is going to be really hot. It's going to be a possibility, and I think the Atlanta Hawks are keen on Grimes as well. So we'll wait to see. But we continue to hear the Lakers active. I don't see what the Lakers have got, really. Man, the bench just goes from good to great, from great to better. Precious Achiuwa. I mean, talk about another guy who's been on a burner recently. 31 minutes tonight, 2 of 7. Right, didn't get to the line, but got 10 rebounds, 3 offensive, 2 blocks, and a steal. Just 2 fouls, no turnovers, 4 points, plus 19 in his bench and starting minutes combined for a plus 19. Man, Mr. Achiuwa, they call him. They refer to him as a guy who came in as a raw player, but a player that with huge upside. And we're starting to see that upside, man. Tom Thibodeau might just be like, yeah, you know what, Leon? We could do with this guy, iHeart's a bit gimpy. Mitch is, out. Precious Achiuwa is stepping up. Man, we could do with more games like this. He was, obviously another revenge game up against his former team. Played his rookie season with the Heat. But, man, 10 boards, 3 offensive, that's nothing to sneeze at. And just 2 fouls, too. So what I see with Precious, he's not really foul prone. He's just a little bit raw, with the ball. He's a bit, his decision making, and he's a little bit clumsy. But outside of that, man, he's fine. He's fine for, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Backup, third stringer. Rebounds. He rebounds well. He's finding his comfortability now. And I've got to salute that. Sometimes you can't evaluate a new player in 5 games. You got to give him 10. You got to give him 15. And then you start to see, the guy changed countries, changed cities, playing with ball-dominant players. He had to find his rhythm. Obviously, you got to salute the coaching staff too. Maybe, just maybe, the likes of Tom Thibodeau's defensive acumen, the coaching staff, these guys, Johnny Bryant and co. Just maybe these guys are, are getting the most out of Precious Achiuwa, where the other guys couldn't. Obviously, he's got the offensive tools, the defensive tools as well, size, length, that guys like Tom Thibodeau like. He's switchable, and obviously they like the rim protection. 2 blocks tonight and 10 rebounds. So, man, another impactful performance from Precious stepping up. I'm going to give him an A for his grade, man. He was impactful in the second unit. Buzz's name for him is Chewy. You can't get to call a grown man Precious, as you said, and I feel you on that. But you call him Chewy, B-. Is to die for. It says on the low, the buyout market could be popping as well. Yep, I'm looking at that too, and I feel like, through the Knicks talks with agents and stuff, they might really get a feel for what happens in advance too, fam, with guys that are going to get bought out. Kyle Lowry is one of them we talked about. Maybe Andre Drummond could be had for a 2nd round pick as well. Now, Precious is a guy with, obviously he doesn't have the ball in his hands like Deuce. So when I talked about with Deuce, and I don't have as much trust in the playoffs, with Precious it's a little bit more trust. But ideally, I would still prefer another big to come in. That's just me. I want us to be equipped You know, I use the word better equipped, you know, to tackle any matchup, whether it be the Bucks, the Sixers, the Celtics, the Cavs, you know, with Jarrett Allen, Mobley, you know, and the trees that they've got. You know, and Isaiah's, like I said, you know, we don't know about the future with him. So please try to get an Olenek, a Andre Drummond. The Knicks are talking to the Wizards about Daniel Gafford. To Die For says, maybe a buyout guy might shake loose. Maybe a bigger trade with Clint Capella. You know, Tibbs loves rim protection, offensive rebounding is the key. Too, fam. Almighty Megas in the building. Salute. Right now we're buzzing. 12 games over. Beating the Heat. Smoking the Rivals. And we're buzzing with the OG trade. 6 straight. And appreciate you for coming through, Van. The team's representing. The fan base representing. The chat representing. Smash that like button. The streets is buzzing right now. The keys for me, the most pleasing thing was the low turnovers, man. We've been last in the league, and I think that is a point of emphasis with good ball movement, but let's keep these turnovers low. And let's gobble up the rebounds and not give these teams any chance. Right, we suffocated them. League best defense. Shout out to the whole squad. We hold the Heat tonight, 109. That's impressive, you know. They've added Terry Rozier. You know, I don't think we fully account for how strong this Heat team can be. You know, Yarquez is a very good role player stepping in for them, rookie year. But you got Martin, Duncan Robinson, Hero back with Rose Scary Terry. We had Highsmith, and of course they got Kevin Love. You know, Bam, Jimmy. Excellent night defensively, 109. Smoked them on the glass, kept the turnovers down. We got 3 blocks, 6 steals, and 25 assists as well. So many bench players getting an A or a B plus. That's very rare. Too, fam. With Miles McBride, Deuce, Hart, Achiuwa, Grimes, excellent bench minutes tonight. Jericho, Archie, and Malachi got garbage time too, fam. So we hit on Tibbs now, and we keep it moving and look at the road ahead too. You know, but huge performance once again from Precious. He's a keeper too, fam. I'm only trading Precious Achiuwa now that our big man stocks are running thin, unless it's a larger package, and a bigger deal to get Murray with Clint Capella, or to get Clarkson with Kelly Olynyk, or something like that. Because I could see Precious sticking around if the Knicks, the coach, can get more out of Precious and unlock his potential. We could be looking at a potential diamond for next season as well. He's got all the tools to be a real dude. Still raw, gonna make some boneheaded plays, but he's got potential. Too, fam. Now the coach, man. While we're talking about the coach, man, do we need to give a shout out to Tibbs? The Tibbs loyalists as well, and we'll talk to even the Tibbs critiques. But to get us at 12 games over, I gave Leon Rose the front office props. I think Leon, in a realistic world, could win Executive of the Year. If we make 3rd seed, Eastern Conference Finals, the moves he's done speaks for itself. But Tom Thibodeau, there could be a world where he's in the running for Coach of the Year as well. 2-time Coach of the Year so far in the league. Getting the most out of this guy, this roster. He's a professional coach at getting the most out of players that he wants on the squad. Guys that play both sides, guys that hustle, and guys that show up consistently, right? Show up, no letdown games, right? And this season's been no letdown games, right? We are 19 and zip. in teams below 500. And our record against teams above 500 is even getting better. So Tibbs is handling his business, right? He's been dealt blows with Mitch down. He's been dealt another blow with Randle down. Guys have missed some time. Grimes has, been down this year. But the move to insert Dante DiVincenzo in the starting lineup, that was the first real shake-up that Tibbs did. It was an obvious move, but he did it, and it's been money ever since. The starting five has not looked back since DiVincenzo came into the starting five. And then when Randle and Brunson's play went to all-star level, MVP level, and then we got OG, and then Isaiah Hartenstein's play went up. I mean, the rest was history, right? We put the burners on, and so far we're sitting in a great position. And we're about to look at the standings, the road ahead. But for Tibbs, I gave him an A+ with the Denver win. Another night where we smoked our rival. A for Tom Thibodeau. Salute. Low turnovers, ball movement. The players are executing. So, I appreciate that too. So, yeah, guys are... looking at other coaches, the Thunder coach, man, Mark, is doing well. I think Rick Carlisle is obviously getting the most out of the Pacers. We'll wait and see. But yeah, let's now look at what's coming up and the standings too, fam. As we look at potential buyouts tonight. Obviously, no Kyle Lowry. We wait to see what happens with him on his new team, the Charlotte Hornets, in that trade for Scary Terry. What's going to happen? I know he would look at all contenders. Obviously, I think the Knicks would get a mention. I don't know if the Knicks would be a favorite to get Lowry, because obviously, there's always the Lakers, the Clippers might, he might be more appealed to, a team that has more of a chance, he feels. But I think the Knicks would be with a shot in the buyout situation. But there's other guys too, so let's wait and see as I pull up the standings right now and we get a peep at where we sit right now at 29-17, back above the Cavs. That's what I'm talking about, fam. Half a game above the Cavs. We are just 1.5 back of the Philly 76ers, the third seed. That's the closest these Knicks have been to Philly this season. Just 1.5 back. Tied them in the win column. Shout out, salute. 3 losses back as well. So that win over Philly was really huge. That gave us the edge in terms of being a little closer to the Sixers. Now just 3 losses. So if they lose the next 3, we're literally tied for the third seed, fam. So, if you're still not a believer yet, you might want to wait to see a little more. But I'm here to tell you, the third seed is a real possibility for this squad. The way we're playing, the Sixers are obviously, yet to make a move. They want to make a move. They look like they're trying to make an upgrade. We'll wait and see how they can get it done. But the Knicks are making moves still, and have got more moves to make. So it's going to be a very interesting end to the final stretch, fam. We're going to get a nice all-star break, like maybe 8 days break for the rest of the squad. Brunson and Randle will probably be there for the all-star festivities, but and obviously I think we'll make a move, and I think the Knicks are coming, man. We're 2.5 games back of the Bucks in second seed as well. So, man, like to die for says, right, I only just noticed that as I was working my way up, fam. I was looking at Philly, but then I was like, man, the Bucks are right there. Philly might even overtake the Bucks, and then we might overtake the Bucks too. I said it last show, man, unfortunately, we've used up all our bullets against the Bucks. We've played them already. We just have to hope that they lose. They made a coaching change. Desperation starting to creep in. Man, firing a first-year head coach, right? Dame and Giannis are starting to panic a little bit. Maybe, just maybe, it's not what they thought it would be, right? Offensively looks all right. Defensively looks like an absolute pile of hot mess with the Bucks defensively. We haven't played them since getting OG as well. That's a huge factor as well. We beat them on Christmas Day without OG. I think, like you said, forget second seed, just in a head-to-head matchup. I like our chances against anybody. Obviously, the Celtics are going to give us the biggest issue. But outside of them, the Bucks, the Sixers, the Heat, the Cavs, the Pacers, we're built. We're built to go deep, fam. So salute. We're riding high off this huge win. Man, it always feels great to beat the Heat, but on Saturday night, when things are just looking right, obviously a tough blow, though, for Julius Randle and the New York Knicks today, but it doesn't look serious. So it doesn't look too serious. Now, what do you guys think is going to happen with the lineups? I do think Hart is probably going to creep in. You push OG to the 4, and you let OG go to work, man. He came in as we acquired him, and that way you can play a little bit with the bench. You can put Jericho Sims in there. If you lose Hart, we wait to see. Maybe a trade happens sooner rather than later. Maybe the Randle news after the MRI tonight confirms, a possible, 2-week stint on the sidelines or more. And maybe the Knicks say, hey, we're in discussions with X team. Let's accelerate those discussions, with a Daniel Gafford, maybe with the Wizards, Some of these losing teams will surely be open to trading, a big man for a good second round pick or so, something like that, right? We do have the Utah Jazz second this year, which is looking like it's going to be, as I pull up the West standings, the Jazz are in 10th spot. So it's looking like it'll be about pick 40. Maybe they come down a little bit, pick 39, 38. It's going to be a decent second round pick, not one of those really, really late seconds. So I think the Knicks should be able to get a role player for that. On the alternative side, it's just next man up. Man, we've got guys like Precious playing well. Hart can obviously fill in as a undersized 4, or he can play the 3. We have OG pushed to the 4 now, and it frees up Grimes and Deuce to cook a little bit more with the bench unit with Precious. Maybe that swings things in the favor of keeping Quentin on the squad. Despite the interest of the other teams around the NBA, Quentin's plays going up, and it's definitely given the Knicks food for thought. I think in terms of the offense he can help us with, the floor spacing too. Yep, Knicks 26 champ says, forgetting about seeding, Knicks may have to adjust to playing without Juju for the few games. Yeah, absolutely, man. It is going to be another big adjustment. But yeah, I'm a little worried about our depths in terms of iHeart. 15 minutes tonight. Looks like the plan was to keep iHeart on a minutes restriction and ease him back in so that, the Achilles don't flare up once again. And then obviously we might have to ride Precious a bit more now with Mitch down too. Or Sims, of course. But yeah, it's going to be an adjustment. The good thing is, a guy like Hart is used to playing with Devo and Brunson and OG a little bit. So I think it's not going to be, too much of a chemistry disruption. But obviously we're going to have to factor in the points, and losing Randle's scoring production is going to be a huge, adjustment, like you said. But the best thing, like I said, is the trade period hasn't come. We have ammunition, we have bullets, and I think we've got moves we can make to bolster the rest of the squad now. And like I said, they might just become more aggressive with Randle confirmed to be out. Right, he is going to miss time. It's just a matter of how long. You want to be careful so that the shoulder doesn't, after the pain, the inflammation goes down. You want to make sure that, you know, the shoulder doesn't pop back out. You know, is it his shooting shoulder? No, I think it's his right one, right? So yeah, at least it's not his you know, it's not his shooting side, but it's still going to hamper him. You know, the strength, Randle utilizes his strength to finish in traffic, to slam it down, to rebound. So yeah, there's real concerns, right? I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm not trying to overplay it. I think we just don't know yet. We have to wait and see. You know, how long he misses, and how he looks when he can get back. But it just sucks, that it happens now, because we obviously took a hit tonight. We won 6 in a row now, with Charlotte coming up on the road. We know that's going to be MSG light. Salute. Maybe even just MSG, man. I don't know how much the Charlotte crowd is really taking to their squad at the moment. There's some of those teams that are letting teams score 150 on you. Speaking of that, man, we had Luka put up 70. We had Cat put up 60. Embiid put up 70. I mean, what's going on right now, man? The NBA is just getting it's becoming embarrassing with the amount of points given up, man. Thank God we have a team like the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau that's not going to let that happen. Right? I don't care if I have to keep putting the guy on the line, right? He ain't getting 70 on me. Best believe that, man. Otherwise, there's going to be punch on. So yeah, I feel for Juju in terms of not just the squad, but Randle's approaching the All-Star situation, right? There's still enough time for him to play in the All-Star game, but obviously we wait and see. But the play, right? He's on a tear, playing with the ball unselfishly, scoring efficiently, as well as the team, right? Doing really well. Now, as we said, the Cavs have got a game to play, a couple of games to play in hand. We'll wait and see. At some point, they're going to get Darius Garland back. They're going to get Evan Mobley back. But they're role players. Spider Donovan Mitchell has stepped up in a major way, playing like an MVP candidate, right? For all of the talk and the Knicks fans that still want or would love a Donovan Mitchell on our team, he's making a believer out of them. I still believe that Donovan Mitchell would be a good pickup for us. There's questions over the fit, but I think realistically he's the most attainable, superstar. He is a superstar. He's been doing it in the league for a long time now. He's not one of those players that's like a 2-time All-Star that's just come up into his game. This is a guy who's been money since he came in the league, and there's no signs of that slowing down. So if we could get a Donovan Mitchell for 4 or 5 first-round picks, right, and you get him, you get him, you figure it out. That's just my opinion. I think we'd be unstoppable. With Brunson and Spider. You got junkyard dogs like Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, DiVincenzo, right? We've got enough defensive help with Mitch, iHeart. I think you can make it work. And at the very least, you can stagger the lineup so that you're not playing those two together for 38 minutes. Maybe for 25, and you figure the rest out. But yeah, on that note, I think the Cavs are still dangerous. You can't underestimate Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland got some things to answer for too when they do get back to the playoffs, right? It's their big men that I think they're most suspect, right? Jarrett Allen, soft. Evan Mobley, soft. let's wait and see, right? And then the Pacers, the Pascal Siakam move was nice. I don't know if it's going to get them any higher than 5th. 5th, 6th, they're probably going to jockey for that spot too. And then the Heat suffered a huge blow tonight, man. This cannot be understated. But the Knicks now have, they basically have 5 games of separation on the Heat. So that's huge, right? 5 games of separation on the Miami Heat after this win, right? So there's a long way to play, injuries, etc. But we're basically close to cementing a playoff spot with the Heat 5 games back, right? And the way we're playing, we'd have to go on a losing streak. Of course, the Magic 5.5 back as well, and then you got the Bulls, who are still in the play-in contention. So the Bulls might not have a complete fire sale. They might trade one guy, maybe not all of their guys, with Levine, DeRozan, and Vooch. The Hawks are just a hot mess. They're going to retool. I think they're going to trade Murray to the best available package. I think it's going to be at least 2 first-round picks. Somebody is going to pay that. I don't know if somebody's going to pay 3 first-round picks. I think they're stretching it at that. I think they're possibly clutching at straws. But you never know. A team might get desperate too, fam. And then the Magic, they're trying to make some kind of minor move, I think. But you know, they know they've got patience. They're a young squad. I think they're going to let their season play out and get to the playoffs, see what they can do too, fam. But it's all about these Knicks surging, climbing up the East now. 2nd is a realistic possibility. But with the Julius Randle news, let's just pump the brakes a little bit now and see if we can continue this streak, guys, and take care of Charlotte and Utah too, fam. So Buzzer says we can catch the Bucks. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. The Bucks are a bit suspect at the minute. Yep. So yeah, we smoke the Heat. We continue to ride. Spider's not even 30 yet. He's young. Yep. So he's coming into his prime. Yep. And we've seen what Spider can do with a all defensive type player. You know, him and Rudy Gobert, for whatever they, you know, their ups and their downs, you know, it's been proven that with good depth and a good rim protection and a defensive help, Spider Mitchell can get you to the, you know, to the Western Conference Finals, right? He can get you the number 1 seed as well. You pair him up with another MVP candidate, and yeah, you know, you know what you get too, fam. But we wait to see what happens in the off season, because nothing's happening with Donovan Mitchell in this deadline. But the Knicks have got plenty of moves they can make too, fam. Buyout situations, etc. Now, let's end on the action around the league. Although it is early, so I think there's more games to shake out. So let's see what's happening today. And it looks like Philly too might take another L too, fam. So we'll be only 1 game back of the Sixers if they lose to the Nuggets, which it looks like they will. That's in their building. And then you got the Nets standing on business. You got a big matchup between the Clippers and the Celtics. A potential NBA Finals preview if you buy into the Clippers. The Bucks, it'd be interesting to see, coming off a loss to the Cavs, did the Bucks run into trouble with the defensive Pelicans? Let's see. I'm rooting for the Pelicans on this one. And then a West Coast matchup. We've got the Lakers and the Warriors today. The Spurs and the Wolves. That should be a cakewalk. And then a nice matchup between the Mavs and the Kings, which is the late West Coast game as well. And we had the Wizards pay back the Detroit Pistons for losing to them. And then the New York Knicks, 125-109, statement victory. So yeah, things are looking really juicy if the Bucks can lose to the Pels, or the Sixers can lose to the Nuggets. We go back to the standings, and that just means that we're going to pull we're going to pull within one game of the Sixers if they lose to the Nuggets. If the Bucks lose, we'll pull within 2 games of the second seed. So this season is heating up. I'm loving it, man. I'm enjoying this ride, and I appreciate you all. Thanks for coming through, supporting, and buzzing with us. Knicks Nation, shout out. The best fan base in the biz. And there's a lot of moves to come. I think this is going to be a really active trade deadline. Really, we've seen a couple of quiet trade deadlines. We've seen a big trade. We've seen a couple of big trades already, with OG coming to the Knicks, Siakam going to the Pacers, Terry Rozier to the Heat. And you know, all these other teams are sitting there that haven't made moves yet, looking like we need to get active. We need to do something. Otherwise, we're going to get left behind, man. And I'm looking at Sixers. They're stumbling. I mean, you've even got the Milwaukee Bucks worried and trying to make an upgrade, you know. They're dangling Portis and Connaughton. You've got the Phoenix Suns panicking as well. Although they've improved their play late, they're still way off the pack in the 6th seed, right? They're trying to trade Grayson Allen, one of their best shooters, to think that that's going to get them Miles Bridges or someone, you know. The Lakers are trying to dangle D'Angelo Russell again. I don't know for how many times the Lakers can trade Russell and D'Angelo. It's like the Knicks traded Tim Hardaway Jr. twice. I don't know if this is going to be the 3rd time, but it just seems funny that the Lakers are going to trade D'Lo Russell again. And the funny thing is they might trade him back to the Brooklyn Nets, who already traded him before in the past. So it's literally teams just reusing, recycling the former dudes that they gave up on. Talk about desperation. Man, I don't know. The Clippers might need to make a move as well. They've got so many pieces. The buyout market's going to be hot as well. You know, the GM, LeBron, he's gonna do something. The Lakers can't stand to be in 9, man. This I think could be the final year in LA for LeBron, man. I don't think this guy wants to go out in his career. He might have 1, maybe 2 more years left. I don't think he wants to give them to the Lakers and waste an opportunity to win 1 more ring. Think about it. Or play with Bronny. So, man, I think the Lakers are in a world of trouble, right? The writing was on the wall. I mean, the squad's aging, right? AD ain't what he used to be, and LeBron ain't what he used to be, right? The Knicks have more firepower than them, right? So they need to do something. They need to get desperate. What do you guys think, man? Hidalgo says, I think we have the top defender in the NBA with OG. Not many teams are defensive oriented except for Boston, but they're a little soft in the middle. Yeah, you're on the money, 100% agree with you. Boston are a jump shooting team, and I think in the playoffs, I think if we can neutralize Kristaps Porzingis, if you look at every game this season between the Knicks and the Celtics, in my opinion, the only difference was Kristaps Porzingis. When Mitchell Robinson defended him, we got lit up because Mitch just can't go out on the perimeter. You know, KP was there at one of these games. He shot 7 of 9 from deep. I mean, we just couldn't sustain that. You know, along with Tatum and Brown's spacing. And then you got to pay respect to Derek White, their Drew Holiday, Peyton Pritchard, Hauser, and they're defensive players. They're shooting. They're a handful. But I think Kristaps is the difference. You take Kristaps out, or you neutralize him. You give us OG, like you said, and I think we could be looking at, early optimism, an Eastern Conference Finals matchup between those two teams. Who can stand the test of time with physicality, who can get to the third round unscathed is going to be a huge factor as well. See, the Knicks are built strong, but we can't really sustain. We're not built to sustain a big injury, with a Randle or a Brunson, right? It's at full strength, we can beat anyone. But you take one of these guys out, and it's a wrap. With Boston, they've got depth, they've got scoring depth. You take out Brown, you've got enough still. You take out Porzingis, you're still formidable. You take out Tatum, he's the only guy they can't really sustain to lose as well. So, yeah, that's why I think Philly is really in a predicament as well, because one of the reasons they are struggling is they are missing the third scorer in James Harden. Maxey, Embiid, they're just not as strong. They're not as dynamic offensively. Tobias Harris, DeAnthony Melton, that's just not enough. So I think Philly know they're going to do something, and it's going to be really interesting, man. This East is wide open, and I can really understand any Knicks fan that wants the Knicks to make that next all-in move right now, because the time is ticking. I think it's still half a season too early. I think we make a nice upgrade. We see where we can get this season. I don't think realistically we're winning the chip. But like Knicks will be 26 champ says in the prediction, I think next year is the real opening of the Knicks window. Obviously, I think our roster is going to have another star on it, whether it be in the summer or maybe the deadline next season. But I think the Knicks are waiting to give up these draft picks to get the next guy as well. We wait to see what happens with Phoenix, Devin Booker, Karl Anthony Towns has a lot to prove this season in the playoffs, right? For all the hype with Minnie, and deservedly so, they have to prove it. They have a lot to prove in the playoffs this season. Forget about regular season. We know that's just jockeying for seeding. That doesn't mean anything when the real games start, right? Can Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, can they stand the heat in the West Coast playoffs, right? You got seasoned teams like the Suns will come up. The Mavericks, the Lakers, they might cause some damage as well. So I think the Knicks know this. We need to bolster our depth big time. I legitimately believe that depth was injuries we suffered was the real difference between making the ECF last year. I think if Randle and Brunson don't go down with those individual ankle issues, and Mitch last season interrupted year, I think we're looking at Game 7 at least, and we're looking at possibly Eastern Conference Finals last year. So if we come into this year with better depth and hopefully don't sustain any kind of injury, it's going to be fun. But obviously, I think the East is stronger in terms of depth. Obviously, when you're looking at the Heat, right, that can cause some damage in the playoffs in 7th. The Magic will be inexperienced, but they might be dangerous with their young squad, feeling confidence. And you just never know what the Pacers can do, the Cavs. I think we still have their number as well. But at least you get the 3rd or the 4th seed. That's integral to getting out of the 2nd round, because you get an easier first round matchup. You get home court. You can maybe end the series in 5 or 6, like the Knicks did. Hopefully, you know, we get the Cavs again, we get the Pacers, we finish them off within 6, and then you can get to the second round with a better chance, you know, to be fresh, you know, for that second round. You want to be fresh to help you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? And then by the Eastern Conference Finals, everyone's going to be banged up, right? It's just whoever can sustain the best play, fam. But yeah, anything's possible to die for. The windows are open like never before. Yep, I said it, fam. This is the best Knicks squad and the best chance since 2013, 54-win season and second round exit, where we lost to the Pacers, but we didn't have home court in that series. Now we have a real chance to get home court. That third seed would be amazing too, fam. Knicks 26 champ says the window's also open now, but the ball is in Leon's court to improve the squad. We have the assets available. We do. And I think here's what's going to shake out. My prediction is, you know, he's going to use a couple of picks, maybe one, maybe two, one of the maybe the Dallas one, and maybe one future protected one from the Bucks, Wizards, or Pistons. And I think he's going to go get either a Sexton, Clarkson, a Malcolm Brogdon, and he's going to get, you know, big man, or he's going to get supplementary help with buyout guys or whatever it takes. And then he's going to save the bulk of the other first round unprotected picks for the summer. And I think he's going to be aggressive in that one too, fam. And hopefully the Cleveland Cavaliers or a team like that, you know, come to a realization that, hey, we tried, you know, we went for it for 2 seasons. We fell short in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell's an unrestricted free agent coming up. Let's take the picks. Let's take the deal. Or whether it's Devin Booker or someone else as well. So, yeah, I think that makes the most sense. I don't know if he's going to give up 3 first-round picks for a Murray. If it's 2 first-round picks and Quentin Grimes, I could see them doing it. But I think he's going to want to save a couple of those picks. Now, he might panic a little bit. You know, here's a scenario where if Brogdon comes off the table, let's say Brogdon goes to Philly or the Heat, or someone snatches Brogdon. Let's say the Hawks get the deal they want and they trade Murray to a rival, and the Knicks options are disappearing. And then Danny Ainge starts to play hardball. Then we might be in a situation where Leon's got to give up a little bit more, maybe a little bit more than he wants to do. But I think there's enough options out there for him, to get a Brogdon early, continue to see what we can do with Utah. Because I think, Utah, they're in the hunt for the play-in, but Danny Ainge is all about the future, right? He's a smart man. He knows that. He knows that this season is just another year to give guys experience, to build upon the future. And I think, I think he's going to, prioritize the future with another draft pick if he can, and at least sell one of those guards, whether it be Horton Tucker, Clarkson, or Sexton. But it's going to take a first-round pick, I think. It's not going to be unprotected. It'll be a protected one, maybe lottery protected, something like that. It just depends. Who would be your preference? If we're talking Sexton or Clarkson, or if you don't get either of those two, you could get a Kelly Olynyk for a couple of seconds or a good second. That might be an option. See, the thing is, one of the reasons why we're not getting a deal is because, they're waiting. They want to get the best available deal, and they want to make sure that the price, continues to go up. So I think, they'll wait to the end to see if they can get a first for Kelly Olynyk, Sexton, Clarkson. What is your thoughts on Bogdanovic from the Pistons? I think Bogdanovic would, he'd be a nice bench piece. I think we still miss a little bit of the creation, the ball handling duties, fam. So if we can get Bogdanovic and Brogdon, I'll be happy with that. If we can get Bogdanovic and a Sexton or a Clarkson, I'd be happy with that. But if it's just Bogdanovic, I think we're missing one of the key ingredients we still need to get, which is another point guard. Now, I don't want to make this, and bring this into the fruition, of course. But if Brunson was to miss any time, even a game in the playoffs, I still feel like we have an excellent chance of winning with Randle, with OG, with everyone else, if we were to have like a guy like a Brogdon step in, like Quickly used to step in. Basically, that's what we need. A guy who can fill in for Brunson, give you 15 points, 6 assists, help Randle out, help the other guys out, and we still have a great chance of winning. Right now, if Brunson were to miss, we have next to no chance of winning, like we saw against Magic. And I'm not trying to take away anything from any other player on the squad, right? But we've seen what we miss with the creation, the defensive, making the defense collapse, all of that stuff, man. We need another guy to break down the D, and that's why I think Jalen Brunson's an MVP candidate, right? We just simply cannot sustain losing him without Emmanuel Quickley here. One of the reasons why I felt Emmanuel Quickley was the real six man is because whenever Brunson went down, Quickley, we didn't miss a beat, right? He was a legit six man. He came in and he gave you close or the same as what Brunson did. But without Brunson and without Quickley, right, we're going to lose to the squads like the Magic in the 8th seed. We're going to get smoked in the playoffs as well. So you must address that, right? That's one thing Leon Rose must address. He must get a bona fide point guard or creator in the absence, or the guy to back up Brunson as well. Everything else is a non-negotiable. We can get by with Sims and Achiuwa if we need to for the big men, but we cannot get by without a backup point, I think. So I think that's key. But yeah, I like Bogdanovic. I think Alec Burks, is a big consideration. Hopefully, as not the ball handling creator. Hopefully, as an off-ball player. Yeah, I'll put him in the same boat as Bogdanovic, fam, as a guy who is a great bench piece at the 2 or 3. But yeah, Bruce Brown, similar boat. I'll be okay if we do get Bruce Brown with the other guy. We must get some scoring help and the creator as well. A guy who can help break down the D when you need a shot in the playoffs, I think. And I think that's what Scary Terry, what the Heat, were hoping to get with Scary. And one of the reasons why I would be on this guy in a buyout situation, that's it. Maybe even as the third string guy, Kyle Lowry is insurance in case Brunson ever goes down. So that's the thing. I know Lowry's kind of washed, but I think his game goes up in the playoffs. I think regular season Lowry, as we're seeing, ain't the same as playoff Lowry. I think having a chance to vie for another championship, I think you would get a little bit more out of Lowry in limited minutes. But hopefully, a better option is Brogdon, Sexton, Clarkson. Buzzer says I would take Portis in a buyout. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Portis in a buyout, if it's possible, is a great choice. But I think the Bucks are looking to get something back for him in a deal as well. You know, the Bucks are looking for all the help they can get, but I don't see a buyout likely for that. Yep. Quentin Grimes showed out, absolutely. Marcus Smart's got some struggles scoring. Yep. Only Lowry, only on a buyout. Yeah, 100%, right? I'm not trading for Lowry. Yep. That's it. Yep, buyout only as well. And he's not even my first choice, right? But he's just there, you know, if you can just get him. It's a case of, would you prefer, you know, Archie Diacono on the roster or Lowry? But yeah, let's get some young legs. Let's get a deal done with Utah, right? I see a pathway to a deal. I know Danny Ainge is going to try to play hardball. That's why you wait all the way to the deadline. But you try to give them, you know, one of these protected picks for the future, the Milwaukee, the Bucks, or the Pistons one. The Milwaukee, the Wizards, or the Pistons one, you know. So with Sexton, Clarkson, even THT, you know, could be a decent help as well. I think the key is going to be how much do teams value Quentin Grimes, because I think that is a key pathway to a deal with Portland for Brogdon, with a Utah for one of those guys, you know, with Atlanta for a DeJounte Murray, right? Teams value picks, best believe that. But what might allow the Knicks to beat another team's offer is if that team has a keen eye for Quentin Grimes, right? You see, the Raptors took the Knicks deal for OG, not because, you know, we were offering, you know, that second round pick, not necessarily because it was just RJ Barrett, but because they really liked Emmanuel quickly. You know, they needed a future point. So we were able to beat everyone's deal. That could be a similar story with Quentin Grimes, right? If the Knicks are offering a first for Brogdon, but the Lakers are also offering a better first for Brogdon, you know, it's apples and apples. They're going to take the deal that's better. You know, they're going to take the better pick. But all reports tell us that Danny Ainge really wants Quentin Grimes, right? The Atlanta Hawks really like Quentin Grimes. So, yeah, I'm just saying, watch out for that. I think Masai Ujiri also likes Quentin Grimes with in a Bruce Brown possibility. We'll wait and see too, fam. But yeah, the Pistons might be looking for a shake-up, man. I don't know if they're going to trade Cade, possibly Ivy, definitely Bogdanovich, definitely Killian Hayes. I think Ivy might be out of there. I think Jaden Ivy, not that I'd trust him in the playoffs, but for a future, flyer, yeah, I'd take that flyer on Jaden Ivy. Yep, absolutely. Too, fam. Yeah, the Lakers are trying to get busy. Too. What could a team offer the Pistons for Cade? Probably a veteran. I think they're maybe trying to win some games a little bit. You know, they know they're going to continue to get bad draft picks, so I think they want a guy in the locker room that can help them a little. We'll wait and see. Could the Knicks get a guy like Marcus Morris Sr. off the Sixers as well? I don't know if he's being, you know, fully utilized. We'll wait and see there. Something under the radar is, you know, Tobias Harris. He's an expiring deal, and his future's not been talked about enough. Long Island native, Tom Thibodeau has always had, from what I've heard, an admiration for a Tobias Harris. So, you know, could the Knicks try to get something done with Evan Fournier? But, you know, Tobias is expiring. I think the Sixers want to let that expire so that they can also add a stud with Maxey, with Embiid. Also, look out for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine has to get traded at some point, right? By default, some team's going to offer something. Now, I don't think he fits on the Knicks right now, the way we're buzzing with defense, with DiVincenzo's shooting and two-way play. But yeah, some team is going to land Zach LaVine for a below-market price. Because the salary is just disgusting. 40-something million, right? Teams want the Bulls to attach assets for them to take Zach LaVine. Let that sink in. Right. People were getting on me. This was months ago, weeks ago, for me not, wanting the Knicks to go in for Zach LaVine. People called me an idiot even. I don't take anything personally. I know, people are very passionate. But obviously the NBA, the teams around the league, don't see Zach LaVine as a positive asset right now, Not just because it's not specifically because he can't play. We know he can put the ball in the cup. But, the salary cap restrictions are going to become brutal next year, right? Who wants to take a $44 million deal for a player that's oft injured, inconsistent, plays really one side of the ball, and hasn't even helped his current team? Right, so, he comes with a specific skill set. But I think the Knicks have done okay. They've managed to to come out of the other side. And we look great, I think. So I think DeMar DeRozan might have more value. DeMar DeRozan might have more value on the open market than LaVine because his contract's expiring. I think that's very sexy to GMs because you can take a quick flyer on it. He helps you for the playoffs, and then you can retool in the off season once again. You can wipe the books clean as well. They don't want this dirty money on their books in terms of a guy who can't get you to the top, and then you have to keep paying him as well. And the tax issues is going up for the teams as well. So yeah, that could make a Karl Anthony Towns deal very, very tricky, fam. Keep an eye out on that. Because if the T-Wolves don't win anything this year, right, I know their fans are, some of them have been in our mentions talking about, how excited they are. Even some of them trolling. But watch to see what happens with the T-Wolves. If they don't get it done, Karl Anthony Towns making $60 million, a small market team, in a brutal tax situation. They're paying Naz Reid, their backup, big money. They're paying Jaden McDaniels, big money. Rudy Gobert, Ant-Man, big money. They're going to look for cap relief, right? They're absolutely going to be looking for cap relief if they're not winning. Now, what team in the league can take on Karl Anthony Towns $60 million, right? That's going to be pretty hard to facilitate. Best believe that, man. So, we'll wait and see. That's why a team like Philly, they might just hold on to Tobias Harris. They want that 30, 40 milli coming off the books. Chicago, they get DeMar DeRozan coming off their books, but they might be able to make a deal with the Knicks. Get Fournier's expiring and a draft pick. They might be able to utilize, something out of nothing situation, man. Buzzer Beater says no one is going to help the Bulls, especially us, fam. Yet let them rot, fam. And they're bad fans as well, booing Jerry Krause's spouse, fam. Filthy fan base, right? Let them rot. They won 2-3 peats. I don't have any sympathy for the Chicago Bulls at all. Let them be bad for another decade, fam. Now's our time, right? The Bulls had the 90s. We were good in the 90s, but they've been bad ever since. Both teams, essentially, but we've rectified the ship, and now our time is right now. And the Chicago Bulls, no way. To Die For says not a LaVine fan, so he can stay where he's at. let him go to the clutch crew out with LeBron. You see, every team LeBron leaves, he leaves them in a hot mess. So look out for that. If LBJ stays with the Lakers for one more year, he's going to make sure that they screw their future even more, and they suck every single dollar out of that situation, man. Yep. I hate the Sixer fans as well. Yep. It's obviously fluctuated over the years, but if you want to know the team that I kind of hate the most right now is the Pacers. There's something about the Pacers. I just can't stand them. I can't stand Tyrese Halliburton. I can't stand his moxie. And I can't stand the Pacers over the years, you know. Reggie Miller. They knocked us out in 2013. Right? Give me the Indiana Pacers first round matchup, man. So we can beat them. Right? The Cavs I don't really care for, you know. I kind of have a little bit of sympathy. Small market team. They're all right. Phillies fans, I dislike, but I don't really ever see this Philly as a rival of the Knicks. You know, we've never really been locked into those battles with Philly. The Bucks, I really want to knock off. I'm not going to lie. Giannis, you know, part of him using the Knicks with all that rumors, and then he re-signs with the Bucks as soon as he gets what he wants. Man, I got no sympathy for Giannis anymore, man. He can kick rocks. Right? So I want to knock off the Bucks, man. They made their desperation move for Dame. Their defense has gone down the toilet. Let them suffer. Right? Let them suffer. Their window is closing real quick. Right? The Celtics, yeah, obviously you know the drill. The Celtics go way back, and we want to knock them off as well. But the Heat, the Pacers, the Bucks are the teams I want to beat the most, man. Yep. As our window's opening, like 26 Champ says, man. I think when the Knicks window opens, it's going to be open for, you know, at least 5 years. You know, with the way the age Brunson is. Obviously, Giannis is still a really good age, but you know, Middleton, unfortunately, Dame, they've come to the very back of their prime, too, fam. Yeah, too. Yeah. Recognize that with the cat deal, fam. Most def. You see. And what I want to say is let the situation in Mini be a lesson to every team around the league. See what they do. If you can't win, surrounding Cat with Gobert, Ant-Man, wings like Jaden McDaniels, crafty wings, point guards like Conley. If you can't win with Cat, with those defensive guys around him, there's no way any team is going to be able to win with Cat. Right? That is literally the best scenario that Cat has the chance of winning, I think. You put him on any other team with less defense, and I think it's going to be a wrap as well. So yeah, their time is right now, and their tax bill is insane, right? Ain't no one helping him with $60 million relief with that. Yet to Die For says, yeah, CT goes back since Miller time. Most def, man. It's personal with the Pacers too. This Tyrese current thing, it's just the way I feel. Some people don't mind him. I could see what Wally Zerbiak's getting at. He was out of line, obviously, but I can understand where the hate comes from. Like it goes way back, you know, the Bulls, the Heat. The Bulls aren't a threat right now, but the Heat, obviously, we want to get them back from last year. Pat Riley, we want to set Pat Riley into retirement, right? So that's personal for me. The Pacers, the Heat, the Celtics, the Sixers I don't really care for. The Cavs I don't. The current Bucks team and Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's kind of personal for me too, because he flirted with the teams. He flirted with the Knicks, you know. had our names all over in the rumors, and then he extends with the Bucks. Right, so I got no sympathy for Giannis. It's not personal, but I just don't have any sympathy, man. He made his bed. He has to lie in it right now. And think about this. You needed to get Dame and all that help just to be 2 games better than the New York Knicks. Right. That lets you know they're headed for, a shorter window. I think too, fam. Right? And then Damian Lillard getting the starting spot ahead of JB. You kidding me now? Right? I can't wait to knock off the Bucks with that one, man. We obviously we haven't played them since OG, right? OG can guard Giannis. That's going to be fun. Too fair, man. Embiid sitting out. Yep, disappointing, Charles. Yep. Add him to another guy I want to stay clear of, right? I know a lot of fans are fans of Embiid, right? I don't want no parts of that circus, right? I don't want any part of those theatrics with Joel Embiid, right? Another quality player, deservingly of an MVP. Not trying to take that away from him, but it's a very, very short window, fam. The guy's becoming 30. His knees are a ticking time bomb, fam. Right, try to get better at the wing spot, at the shooting guard spot, whether it's Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, a dynamic guard to play with Brunson, and I think we can rule the East. Yep. Yeah, let's see what happens with Doc Rivers too, fam. Yep, that's another potential hot mess. Right, Doc doesn't have the best playoff record, like Buzzer says, man. They traded Griffin. One of the reasons, they weren't sold on Griffin too was because, Dame was huge, he was big in Terry Stotts. Once Terry Stotts got, once he quit, the clock was ticking on Griffin, man. But yeah, the Bucks, they've got a chance, no doubt. Anything happens in the playoffs, injuries, the Celtics have question marks as well. But yeah, I really see the Bucks as this year and next year, and that's it, right? With Dame, if they flip Dame, I don't know what they can get. Like in 2 years' time, Dame is Dame. Like he's not going to get back the same level package. I don't believe. Middleton's aging. That they're at the Cleveland LeBron stage where he's they've sucked every resource, every asset that they can to contend, and once they fall short, there's absolutely nothing they can do. Giannis will be requesting a trade, and then they'll be able to get their draft picks back that way. Now, Minnesota are in a better position. I'm not saying they're in an awful position. They've obviously got their Ant-Man, they've got Jaden McDaniels, etc. But the big elephant is Cat. What can they do? Is the ownership happy to continue to pay luxury tax and restrictive with trades that they can do? Right. Next year's salary restrictions are going to be crippling for the high tax teams as well. Now, second seed, they're well within their right to go all in this year, see what they can do, but it's going to be interesting. I think the Clippers will match up well. Obviously, the Nuggets could be just cruising, and then you've got the Thunder as well. So I think the Timberwolves can definitely get to the second round, maybe the third round. We'll see. The coach absolutely threw them under the bus after the loss with the 62-point game from Cat. He was points hunting to. Yep, it's going to be a fascinating rest of the season and the playoffs too, with the trade deadline, man, heating up. As I said, the moves that people can make might just dictate who gets it done in the playoffs, right? Who's going to be desperate? The thing is, the Clippers can continue to build chemistry because they've got everything set, right? They're not going to make any kind of shake-up, right? Their guys are gelling. I could see them getting the 2nd seed. Maybe the Wolves hang on. But yeah, they're going to be on track for a matchup. The Thunder, they've got the inexperience. If you can shut down SGA, that's the key to beat the Thunder, right? If the Knicks had an OG Anunoby that they can throw on SGA, and you play good D on everyone else, I still think they're a player short, right? I think a guy like iHeart, would be able to neutralize Chet. It's all about SGA, and that's where the Joker and the Nuggets might just come in with their experience, right? But I wasn't too impressed with them. The shooters have got to step up. And then the Kings, I still feel like the Kings are a player short, man. They might just have reached their ceiling with this current squad, right? De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis. They tried to get Siakam. He didn't agree. They were on the verge of doing a Siakam deal, and he didn't agree, I think, to an extension. So, they got Harrison Barnes. They're trying to do something. And then I just think the Suns just aren't durable enough. Talk about they've got the most firepower, but there's only one ball, right? It don't matter if you got Beal, Booker, and KD. Only one of them can shoot the damn rock at the same time. Who else have they got, right? Who are their bigs? Who's going to rebound for them? Who's going to get stops? Who's going to sacrifice for the Phoenix Suns? They're in a world of trouble as well. That's why Devin Booker might be a hot name in the next year or two, right? Kevin Durant's getting agitated, and quite frankly, we're already in the second half of the season, and they haven't risen above the 6th spot yet. That's been very underwhelming, So, in the playoffs, they might be able to turn it on. Wait and see. But they're trying to do something. Miles Bridges seems to be, a ticket to an upgrade. The Pelicans, I think they're still a player away in the West. Zion, the clock's ticking on that situation as well. So we might see a potential link, a Zion link back to the Knicks in the next year or two as well. We wait and see. And then, I'm going to make a bold prediction that LeBron is not on the Lakers next year, because I don't think he wants to go out like that, man. So he's going to sucker them in to make a move in this deadline, try to make a run, and then he's going to leave. Fam. So, when you think about it, the West is wide open. The East is hella wide open. Saddle up, baby. It's about to get crazy. And NYC Ball 08 with the chat. Appreciate you. Good show as usual, CT. Let's get it. Yeah, let's get it, fam. The Knicks got it today. Nothing more satisfying than, an amazing win, wire to wire, basically, against the Miami Heat. We smoked the Heat pack today. They made their upgrade, but it looks more of the same, right? Bam trying to injure players. And Jimmy Butler aging as well. Don't forget about that. Jimmy Butler is getting towards the end of his prime, right? He'll be a very, very solid role player for for years to come. But he just doesn't have that kind of juice, where he's gonna take over a series for 5 or 6 games anymore. I don't see that happening, man. But yeah, the Heat are solid. They'll be smart defensively. They'll make plays. They'll double like they did today. But the difference was the Knicks were ready, right? Julius Randle, the ball movement out of the double was great. We had the shooters to knock down the shots, and we were physical. We matched their physicality as well. Shout out to Precious Isaiah for his comeback. The only thing that might be able to stop us is injuries. Like I said, we're not built to sustain an injury to Randle or Brunson, because they're our engine. So I pray for good health, and I think we can get it in this season. I think we can shock some people, and get to the ECF, get to the finals, if everything shakes right too, fam. But appreciate everyone for coming through. The building, the chat was popping, and the Knicks were popping today, popping the 3-ball, and it was money. It's always good to beat a rival. We talked about our rivals tonight. I want us to beat the Pacers. I want us to beat the Bucks. And the Heat, of course, continue. But the Celtics, we want to knock them off the top. Right? Old foe, Kristaps Porzingis might be the difference. But if he can't be healthy, all bets are off. Fam. Michael Dollar, appreciate you coming through. What's good? Melo. We might see some 10-day deals, but I don't think Melo's going to change his decision. But yeah, there's some other guys out there, Lance, John Wall, maybe some other guys that are retired come out. We'll wait and see, fam. But yeah, like NYC Ball 08 says, let's get it, guys. Appreciate you, ladies and gents, and we'll see you for the next game, Monday at Charlotte. Salute. There'll be a big Knicks presence in the building. Tonight, Julius will get an MRI. We'll get more information tonight or tomorrow. I think he might miss a few weeks, but I think it won't be anything long term. So we'll be alright, fam. Orange and blue skies. Salute. Take care. Peace. Blessings, health, and take care.